express my appreciation for our faculty and staff, our parents in attendance tonight, as well as our board members. We even have a board member from the congregation, Beth Yeshurun, so we're happy to see everybody here. You know, we talk a lot about the collaboration that we have and how we all work together for the best interest of the kids, and it's fantastic to have everybody here and have all those groups represented. I also want to welcome everyone who is viewing online. We are actually streaming today through Facebook, so welcome for those of you who are home with your coffee and your jam. So thanks for tuning in. This broadcast will also be available if people want to look at it later. So many of you may not be aware, but this is actually Beth Yeshurun's 70th year. And our theme this year is 70 years and growing. And so we're taking this opportunity to talk about the state of the school in kind of three pieces: to look at the past, the present, and a look towards the future of where we will be going. And it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be here in Houston. We've just come back from, obviously, the flood to these great facilities, and there's a real kind of enthusiasm in the community for all things Jewish, for the school, for the congregation, and we're really happy to play our part in that. So, without further ado, I want to introduce our first speaker. Cindy Kaplan is a graduate from the class of 1968. And we thought this would be a great place to start in our discussion today. So with that, I'm going to introduce Cindy, and we're all excited to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much.
Wow. When Erica called me and told me about this program this morning, she was going to be the past, present, and the future. I said, well, great. And then she asked me to be part of the past. I was like, oh my God. And then I realized that I graduated here 51 years ago. There's no Facebook. This part of the building didn't even exist. So I'm going to take you back and give you some historical perspective of the fabulous school that I went to. Okay, imagine that Beth Yeshurun was the school, the only school back then, started by Rabbi Malov, because there needed to be a school for Jewish toddlers to go to. Okay, so in the 50s was sock up generation, rock and roll, civil rights in the 60s, the disco age was the 70s, and the big hairstyles of the 80s, the tech generation of the 90s, the digital age of the 2000s, and now currently you guys are raising children in the age of instant gratification. Okay, so I said that Rabbi Malov founded this day school because he needed some place to send the Jewish children. Okay, there were times during the 70s that the enrollment was so low that Rafi Arbesser had to go to Ben Taub, and he spoke to Mr. Taub, and Mr. Taub gave $25,000 for a decade to keep our school open. Okay, that's an important fact. All right, anyhow, Beth Yeshurun was the trailblazer. When Schlenker came and they wanted to start a school, they did their model from Beth Yeshurun. When an Orthodox gentleman wanted to send his son here, no, they used Beth Yeshurun as a model. Okay, enough about that. I went to nursery school at the Beth Yeshurun location on Southmore. I went to kindergarten at a church on Bel Air, which was right at the railroad tracks, right before Little Woodrose, which is by the Moeller's Bakery, because this building on Beechnut was not complete. I went to first grade here at Beth Yeshurun. Mrs. Shaw was my first grade teacher. And what I can tell you about Mrs. Shaw, she was extremely creative and always wore blue eyeshadow. So to this day, when I see blue eyeshadow, I definitely think of Mrs. Shaw. Okay. The other teacher that stands out in my mind was my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Zinn. She was amazing. We did the most amazing projects in her class. There was one project that we did. We had to find misspelled words in periodicals, and we broke up in teams, and there were 9 of us in 6th grade, okay? And I was on a team with another girl, and we beat the boys. That was a really big deal. But in Mrs. Zinn's class, when you got 100 on a quiz, she gave us coins out of her wallet, and we could go to the gift shop, and we could buy a paperback book on the spinning whatever, and we could buy the paperback books, but that was really exciting. So let me talk to you about the grades. Beth Yeshurun at that time went up through the 3rd grade. There were a group of parents, my dad, David Bard, and with the encouragement of Rabbi Maliv and these dedicated parents, they said, okay, would you send your child to the 4th grade? Yes. At the end of 4th grade. Would you continue and send your child to the 5th grade? Yes. Would you continue and send your child to the 6th grade? Yes. I had 7 other classmates in the 4th grade, 7 other classmates in the 5th grade, and in our graduating class, there were 9 of us. So May 12, 1968, Beth Yeshurun had the very first graduating class of the 6th grade. There were 9 of us, 6 boys and 3 girls. Round of applause. So that is when Beth Yeshurun went all the way through the 6th grade. We were trailblazers. It was such a big deal that the Jewish Theological Seminary sent down the vice chancellor to participate and to officiate at our graduation. Okay, Peggy Samet was the principal, and she was amazing. She did rhythms. She played the piano. She never sat down. She played the piano standing up. We had programs for every holiday, secular and Jewish. They were fabulous. We did plays. We did costumes. During the week, we had snacks. We had cartons of white milk and saltine crackers. And of course, on Shabbat, we had chocolate milk and challah. Recess. There were no fences at the playground. There were jungle gyms. We played kickball. There was a circular drive at the end of the building, which would be, now that building would end right where the gym stopped. So there was a circular drive, and we played kickball there. There was, at the back of the parking lot, there were basketball hoops. So we played basketball back there. And then beyond that were trees, and it was like a forest. Well, I'm not much of a camper, so I never went back there. But, you know, some of the students went back there. We had a rabbit hut. I don't know why we had a rabbit hut, but we had a rabbit hut, and we had rabbits in that rabbit hut. So there were, like I said, there were 9 of us that graduated. One of the gentlemen became the president of the synagogue. One of the gentlemen donated the main sanctuary in memory of his parents. I have served on the board of the synagogue many times. I'm currently a board member. It's really interesting. I'm still friends with my classmates, and a few of them live out of town, but when we see each other, we still have this camaraderie. We went on field trips. We went to the planetarium. I don't know if that still exists. We went to the symphony. We went to the ballet. But it's very interesting that I have enormous fond memories of being here at the day school. My 2 sons went to the day school. My siblings, my brother graduated 2 years after me. My sister graduated 4 years after me. My nephews graduated from the day school. It was a fabulous, warm environment to send your children to. Our teachers were extremely creative. One of the kindergarten teachers, Annie Abramson, taught one of my classmates' mothers. So the teachers in that generation stayed and taught. Mrs. Shaw, my first grade teacher, after she went from teaching in the day school, became a Sunday school teacher here. So our projects were really, really creative. Holiday time, Passover was a fabulous holiday. We did model seders, and then whatever you learned here at the day school, it was just magnified at home. You know, you could take the songs that you learned and you sang them at your seder. I remember one year we built a sukkah at home because I was so excited learning how with colored paper to do the lanyards, whatever. It was fabulous. We did plays in Hebrew, and like I said, there were 9 kids in my class, and 2 of the other girls didn't want to be in the play, so I had to say the same line in Hebrew for all the 6 guys because I was going to be the only female lead, and it was just great. It was absolutely fabulous. There were no food allergies then, so we all ate lunch together. We didn't have hot lunch, so we all ate lunch in the Pulaski Auditorium. I just have such fond memories when I come back to this, when I'm in this building, and I think about my days at Beth Yeshurun.
So I always wondered where the tradition of Paula chocolate came from. So this is our 7th year, and it's a year in which we are exceptionally proud of the work we are doing. We will hear next from 2 current parents. Evan Weinberger has a son, Sam, in the 3s class, and an infant, which we hope will be joining us soon. And Monique Kaufman had a graduate last year, and Vivian was in the 4th grade. And we will go to that point in the program.
Sorry, I'm a little speechless. I thought you were 45, so you just aged yourself. But thank you. I didn't know all that. I understand this is the first State of the School address, past, present, and future. So we have a lot of past to catch up on. We're scheduled till about 9:30. I hope it's okay. Hang tight. I wasn't nervous today at all until they told me I had 3 to 5 minutes, and that was it. So I did a lot of thinking, and I came up with 6 reasons why I really love this place. I'd like to share them with you today. First and foremost, creating a Jewish identity. I'll tell you this through a story. In the 3rd or 4th night of Hanukkah, I have one of those like Nest cameras in my son's room. So this was just last week. And I check up on him every once in a while just to make sure he's breathing. So, and he wasn't asleep yet. So what was he doing? He was singing Hanukkah songs and Hanukkah blessings to himself, and I didn't teach those to him, so I know where he learned them. He learned them right here. This is Beth Yeshurun Day School. But that's not all. Number 2, what we do here to feed our students' IQ. Starting in the EC, of course, you have your traditional learning stations, but we're mixing cutting-edge equipment like the new STEM lab, which the kids are using and being exposed to starting in the 3s. It's amazing. And technology, like the iPad projector in Snap City, which is encouraging healthy ways to incorporate technology for our kids. That's awesome. This is Beth Yeshurun Day School. Number 3, equally important to feeding their IQ is developing their EQ, their emotional intelligence. You might see posters around the school about a new initiative, the 5 BYDS life skills. Responsibility, respect, integrity, cooperation, and gratitude. Awesome. And the social emotional learning approach, talking to the kids about attitude and interpersonal skills and problem-solving skills, and teaching them how to adapt to the real world and preparing them for the real world after this. All the latest research points to IQ is important to a point, but EQ, this emotional intelligence piece, is equally important, in some cases more important, for long-term success. This is Beth Yeshurun Day School. The Beth Yeshurun community, there are two pillars in this community. It's the synagogue, Congregation Beth Yeshurun, and the school. Those two pillars really do make up this community, and you saw it stronger than ever after Harvey. There is an ever-growing close relationship between the synagogue and the school, and I love that. You see there's posters of the rabbis with inspirational quotes through the school. You see the rabbis roaming the hallways, coming by to do Dvar Torahs for some of the older kids. There's more and more joint events. I love that. That warms my heart. We're part of the congregation here as well as the school. And that's incredible. That's amazing. This is Beth Yeshurun Day School. 5, the commitment to always be improving. My father told me, he passed away 3 years ago, he told me, Evan, you're never standing still. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. And the commitment here to always be moving forward is awesome. You may not know this, but there's initiatives for further improving the encouragement and development of executive functioning skills with our kids. Constantly evaluating and reevaluating certain policies, such as homework policies, to make sure that they're serving their purpose in our kids' lives and their development. Integrating technology, which is necessary and unavoidable, depending on how you look at it. But incorporating technology in education and into the classrooms, these cutting-edge technologies, is essential to be a future-oriented institution. And we're constantly evaluating better and better ways to do that in a way that's safe and healthy for our kids. Evaluations from the teachers in the EC all the way through the teachers in the higher grades, even the leadership, instituting always new ways to evaluate us, not necessarily to be critical, but to make sure that we are identifying those things we do really well and make sure we do more of those things, and identify those things that aren't working so we can eliminate them and improve upon them and create new programs to make sure we're always on the cutting edge. This is Beth Yeshurun Day School. And finally, the top-notch leadership here. Everything that I just mentioned, somebody here, in fact, in this room, is responsible for every one of those things, those new projects, new initiatives, the constant learning and developing, the enrichment projects. Somebody here is responsible for that. If I had more time, I would name you by name, but you know who you are, so you smile, okay? That is amazing. So help me. This is BYDS. And I couldn't be more proud to be here. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. So, like Henry VIII told all his wives, this will be short. I love Henry VIII. I know he was crazy. Okay, have to put that in there. Okay, so my name is Monique Kaufman, and I'm a member of the board for BYDS. When I was asked to join the board, I was reluctant, simply because I wasn't sure I could fulfill the important role that Dan and Jen and the other board members impressed upon me. Essentially, I did not want to let them down and did not want to let the school down. I'm happy that I decided to be a member of the board and be a part of the effort to maintain what is necessary, the necessary and incredible legacy of the Beth Yeshurun Day School. A key role that I play on the board is as a development committee chair. BYDS continually creates, evaluates, and implements ways to expand the development and ultimate success of the school. By means of our strategic plan, we strive to expand and grow the annual Giving Fund and the Gala. This is done by informing, educating, and promoting the school's mission, priorities, needs, and values to provide utmost financial support. I encourage you to visit the school's website, byds.org, for more information about these two vital fundraising efforts. Everyone knows about these. Some are ongoing right now, please. Starting with the 2018 fiscal year end, we will develop a 3-year budget model that will coincide with short-term strategies to further improve planning for fundraising. These strategies also support the building of a catastrophic reserve and increase transparency. We believe this is imperative for the board to plan better for the future. It is important that I impress upon you this morning and assure you that the board takes our fiduciary obligations and responsibilities extremely seriously. You already know I'm a board member, but like you, I am a BYDS parent. My older daughter, like Dan mentioned earlier, Laurel, graduated in May. Through continued support, guidance, enrichment, and access that Evan went over, of course, access to some of the most impressive educators, technology, resources, Laurel currently attends the Emory Wiener School and is in all honors classes. My younger daughter, my baby, Vivian, or Vivs, like she likes to be fondly called, is in 4th grade right now at BYDS. As a second-born, Viv struggles to not live in her sister's shadow. However, her outstanding and supportive teachers have done a brilliant job of stepping aside and allowing her to create her own path. Her teachers identify her strengths and empower her to embrace and face her weaknesses head-on. I've been at BYDS for over 7 years now, and I'm so proud of this school. I'm so proud of my children. I'm so proud that they attend the school. I'm so proud to be a part of the school community and family. I'm so proud and excited to be on the board and eager to see what the school has in store for the next 7 to 70 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Monique and Evan. It's always wonderful to hear from really happy and enthusiastic parents. So the next 70 years of Beth Yeshurun is also looking very bright, and we are happy to kind of jump forward into the future of the school. And to talk a little bit about that future is Michele Tesciuba. She is also a current parent and has been tasked on the board with oversight over our strategic plan. Over the last couple of years, the board has revised the strategic plan, which is really the 3 to 5 year plan. And I'm going to let her talk about that. So welcome, Michele. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So, as Dan mentioned, we started in 2017 looking at a new strategic plan. We felt that the school had achieved what the private plan was, and we wanted to bring it to an even greater height, to be the premier destination in the city for the Jewish community as well as the non-Jewish community in some ways. We wanted to compare ourselves to the St. John's of the world. And so to be able to achieve this objective, we set ourselves some very specific goals during some key meetings. But one of the foundations that we had from the beginning is that we wanted to also make sure that we achieved our mission, which is to foster the confidence among our kids, their leadership, the love of learning, and the sense of responsibility that you've already heard from. And all of this in a Jewish setting, and actually bring up that those Jewish values even more so in the coming years. So the plan was developed. It is 5 to 8 year plan at this point in time with key pillars. The 4 key pillars are the fiduciary and the governance, which is the backbone of the school to ensure that we have the proper staff and the proper structure to be able to give all our best to the students. And then directly affecting the students are the programs and services, and as well the communication, which ends up impacting the parents themselves. With those 4 pillars, we developed a number of committees. Anything from the finance committees that you've heard about from Monique, but as well general studies, where one of the main objectives that we have coming up actually as early as next year is to develop an enrichment program, which will be focused primarily at the beginning for elementary students, but bringing all of the kids that are achieving extremely well today and pushing them to even greater limits, but approaching the learning in different ways, not just and exclusively from a classroom environment. The other aspect of it that we're looking at for general studies is providing even a broader group of services for learning differences. We have today our services, but it is not necessarily a one-size-fits-all program. So because we have individuals and we're working with individuals, we want to be able to shape our programs to those individuals and push them to their maximum capabilities. We have a Judaic committee as well, which is going to try to strengthen even further the connection with the school and CBY, but as well integrate the Jewish aspect of the learning and the Jewish values through all of the secular topics. Similarly, we want to do the same thing with technology. You've heard about the STEM labs. Those was rolled out already earlier this year. They were part of our plan, of our strategic plan. Now we want to push this even further. How do we integrate the technology in our general studies, in our Judaic studies? How do we make this part of the day-to-day curriculum? And allow our kids, when they graduate in 6th grade, to go to middle school and be ready for the world of today, the 21st century. So those are some of the highlights of what, as parents, you will be seeing your students basically bring back home and be exposed to inside the school. There are many more committees. There's a total of 10 committees that came out of this strategic plan. And of course, we welcome as much participation of parents as possible. So if you're interested in learning more about it, please come and talk to us after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I think sometimes the work that the board does is see somewhat of a mystery to our community, and it's great to hear you articulate kind of the goals. So, what are we working on and what are we working towards? Some of the items were mentioned, but I want to highlight or re-highlight a few of those things. One of the really great things that we're excited about in the future is that we will be opening up an infant program here at Beth Yeshurun Day School. One of the things that we talk about at the board level and also at the admin level all the time is what are the needs of our community, and we have determined and discovered that this is something that is substantial in the community. Another option for infants in a Jewish day school environment. Our STEAM labs was mentioned before. We've spent a lot of investment over the last year to expand our STEAM labs. We've doubled that and are expanding that curriculum. I had a great meeting with Ms. Kirsch this week where we went over the lesson plans and all of that our STEAM teachers are doing, how this is integrated throughout the curriculum and across all grade levels. It was mentioned the coding curriculum. When I got here 5 years ago, this is one of the pieces that I really wanted to see happen, that we would have coding as part of the curriculum in the elementary school, and that is occurring. We have a new early childhood director, Jennifer Levine, who's doing a fantastic job for us, and if you haven't had a chance to meet her if you're in the elementary school, I would definitely encourage you to do that. She's been a great addition to the school, and we are so thrilled to have her. We have newly established our advancement department, and for those of you who are not familiar with EduSpeak, that's fundraising, communications, and admissions. And Vivian Bloom is heading that department, and she is doing a fantastic job for us. As always, we are working to enrich the lives of our students and focus on their individual needs. And Megan Busick is our new Student Services Director, and she has brought RTI and again, more EduSpeak. That's a response to intervention to our school, and is working very diligently with the teachers, the faculty and staff, and with your students and the parents to really look at the individual needs of our kids. If you haven't been into Snap City to play around on the beam projector, I would definitely encourage you to do that. It's fun for kids of all ages, I promise. We continue to look across the curriculum to integrate Judaics into every aspect of our school. We have a minimum of 8 hours of which is music, art, PE, every week. We are bringing our library into the 21st century, and that's one of the things that we're focusing on in the near future. As you know, we teach Hebrew every day, and we also teach Spanish. We are continuing to look at data and the best research as far as what 21st education looks like and what a premier Jewish day school looks like. We will be, in the future, we will be looking at our homework policies, and again, what Evan mentioned, a lot of those emotional quotient skills. And on top of that, I think probably our most important thing is we're developing mensches, good Jews, people who are concerned about their community, about one another. You know, as we think about the future of the school, we really have three pieces, right? Academic excellence, as defined for us by data-driven instruction and research, by individualization for the kids, and you will see more of an increase in this area of soft skills. And Alex Newman has done a great job in developing the BYDS life skills, and Evan mentioned them as well. Respect, accountability. We're looking at this idea of grit and emotional intelligence. And we know from the research that that is the skill set that is going to be highly advantaged as we move forward. Jewish life. We will continue to integrate the curriculum. We will continue to celebrate the Jewish holidays and make that a part of our lives. So I had this, I was having a conversation with one of our parents recently. And as you are all aware, we just finished our Hanukkah celebration, which is another great example of how this entire community works together. From our board, to our parents, to our teachers, to our families, to make this a great experience for our kids. But they were basically debating the pros and cons of, you know, Christmas versus Hanukkah. And the reason this parent mentioned this to me is because her kids are proud to be Jewish. They're not missing anything. They are celebrating their experiences, and they love those things that they're having here at school. I think an important piece that we have to mention is our relationship with Congregation Beth Yeshurun. You know, everything that we have here is due to that relationship. We have an exceptionally good relationship with the congregation. And I want to mention specifically that over the last year, we have put together a cooperation agreement, a memorandum of understanding. This has been signed by both the board of the congregation and our school board to set the standard and the goal of how we will work together in the future. And I think this marks kind of a real high point in the relationship between the school and the synagogue. Again, we see the rabbis at the school all the time. Many of our members are looking to join the congregation, and we're very appreciative of that partnership. And finally, financial stability. You know, I love hearing, the idea of the school starting with 7 kids, and Robbie Robertson told me that story as well about this individual who made this donation. Remember, $25,000 a year for 10 years. That was $1968. So there is a huge commitment in this community to Jewish education. We saw that last year. We saw that through the course of the flood. People coming in, stepping up, trying to make a difference. And that really seems to be the change, the biggest positive change in our community probably over the last 5 years that I've been here. The people who come into my office are intent and intense about making a positive difference in the school. I rarely, it happens, but rarely have somebody who comes into my office with a complaint and then just says, yeah, that's your problem to solve. People want to help. They want to make a positive difference. All right, so this is a Jewish day school, and I want to end with the parsha of the week. So many of you may be aware that this week is by Agash, if I'm saying it right. Anyway, but this is the story of Joseph when he reveals himself to his brother Judah. Right? He's gone through all this stuff. His brothers sell him into slavery, of course, because of the coat of many colors. He ends up in jail because Potiphar's wife had designs on him. He sees the visions, the 7 years of famine and flood, and he ends up working for the Pharaoh. So he's in this place. His brothers come to get wheat so that they can survive this famine, and he hides the cup in Benjamin's satchel, and then busts him, right? And it's like, you're going to have to be a slave. Judah comes and like, no, don't take it. I cannot go back to my dad and say that I've lost another brother. And so here's where the reunion happens. So the point is, right, Joseph goes through all these things, and what he says to Judah is he wasn't looking for revenge, he wasn't looking for gratitude or things. He says, God put me in this place. I had to go through all this stuff so that I could be in this place at this time to save Israel. And that's kind of how I feel about us right now. We are here. We're here at this time and in this place to move forward and save Jewish Day School education. And on that, I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here and for your commitment. So I'm going to read this last part because it's important and I want to get it right. The finest academics in both Judaic and General studies, Beth Yeshurun Day School combines Jewish tradition with innovation to create an extraordinary dual program. We believe that school doesn't have to be boring. That if we challenge, excite, nurture, and engage the whole child, we can inspire a level of learning that will last a lifetime. That's our mission statement. I encourage you all to start here. Thank you very much. Okay, there will be a survey. We are always interested in parent input. You're going to get a survey.